In number one, we're going to be tackling this question: is another university degree necessary? Listen again. I said, is another university degree necessary? Hi, and welcome to the You Can Be Anything podcast series on skills. I'm your host, Solange Che, and today we are beginning this podcast skills series, in which we'll be talking about the guidelines to help support you as you go on that journey of learning a new skill. So thanks for joining us, and this is yet number one of our 33 guidelines to help support you on this journey. So what is number one about? In number one, we're going to be tackling this question: is another university degree necessary? Listen again. I said, is another university degree necessary? I place emphasis on the word another because I want you to take this as this part of the message is for those of you who probably already have a degree or have already attained some level of education, right? You know how to read and write, you know how to read and disseminate information. You've already attained a level of education where you can read, understand, and apply what you read. Is there a need for you to go get another degree or go get a degree just because you want to have a degree? This is where I'm going to answer that question. My sincerest opinion or my sincerest response to that question is a no. If you already have a university degree or you have attained that level of, some people go to university but end up not earning that degree, you've already gotten to that level in life where you have the mind to read and understand and apply knowledge, then you do not necessarily need a degree to survive or to get a job and get a good life for yourself. Why do I say this? I say this because I have had people reach out to me and say, hey Solange, I have a degree but it's not earning anything for me. It's really not helping me find a job. What's your advice? Do you think I should go back to school and go earn another degree? And my answer is no. You don't need to go back to school to go get another degree. Only go back to school to earn another degree if that degree you're going for is a degree that aligns with the current path, with the current career path you're on. If that degree is going to serve as a springboard to help lift you up, to help you grow on the current career path you're on. If that is not what that another degree is doing for you, then you do not need to go get another degree. It is important that we bring ourselves to the position where we are growing with the way the world is growing, right? We are adapting to change. In current days, in current years, what helps is skill-based education. Going to school as an adult is not even easy. It's so hard. Then not to talk of going back to college to go get another general degree. That's not even going to change your standard of living. This is where I come in to tell you that instead of going to go get another degree, you want to learn a skill. Find a skill that aligns with your likes. Find a skill that aligns with your style of living, right? Do something that you're going to love to do so that you can learn that skill, become a master of it. And before you're learning the skill, you also want to check to make sure that that skill is in demand. So you have to be filtering it to make sure that, hey, whatever skill you decide to learn, it should be something you love to do and also be something that is in demand so that when you're all done, you will get a job. Another advantage of even gearing towards skill-based education is that with all what is happening in the world today, with the Internet of Things, IoT, you can work from anywhere. So this does not only apply to people who are in the diaspora, it applies to even you who is back home in Africa, in any part of the world, or who is back in the less developed countries. You can. Because what are companies doing? Companies are outsourcing. There are a ton of companies out here who just want to know that you're able to do this. You have internet connection and everything, and they'll pay you, they'll hire you to do the job. You just need to prove to them that you can do it. That is why I am so much into encouraging people to learn skills, to pick up skills, learn at your pace. Make sure it is a skill you like and you can learn at your pace, become a master of it. And disclaimer before I go ahead, I am not here to debunk university degrees. I am not here to say that youngsters should not go to college. No, that's not why I'm here. Youngsters should go to college. You're 16, 17, 18. You should go to college. But how do you want to go to college? How is going to college in these current days different from how we went to college? You want to go to college with an intention. You want to go study with an intention. Pick a subject with an intention. Pick a subject that aligns with what you want to become. So that when you get out of college, you'll be sure that, hey, you're going to get a job. General degrees are good. I'm not debunking those. But you want to know that if you go to college to do a general degree that doesn't specialize in anything that will immediately give you a job once you get out of college, be ready to gear yourself towards skill-based education as soon as you're getting out of college, because skill-based education is what is giving people jobs these days. People are getting hired because they can do something, not because they went to college. Things are better now. Gone are those days when we went to college without even knowing what we were going to study. Growing up as a kid, I wanted to become a journalist. So I always said that when I go to university, I'm going to study journalism and mass communication. Behold, when I finally took the advanced level, which is the exams in Cameroon that qualifies you to get into the university, I passed, but I did not make the threshold point. So my points were not up to what was needed for me to get into the University of Buea, which at that time was the only Anglo-Saxon university in Cameroon. So almost all Anglophones, or almost all English-speaking Cameroonians went to the University of Buea. I did not make it, not to talk of making it to the Department of Mass Communication. When I took the advanced level the first time, I had 3 points. I had a D and an E and an E, so which makes it 3 points. And the Department of Mass Communication, Journalism and Mass Communication, had a threshold point of, I think, 9. So I couldn't make it. And coming from where I come from, my parents were not going to let me go to a different university or any of the French-speaking universities. So I was bound to repeat. So I took the advanced level one more time. I took 1 more year in high school to do the advanced level. After repeating it and taking it again, I still did not get up to 9 points. I had 7 points. This still meant that I was not going to be able to make it to the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. Of course, we all know these things. I know people who were in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication who had less than 7 points. But that's because they knew somebody who knew somebody who knows somebody and all of that. But unfortunately, Pache, my dad, is not one who is going to bribe for me to go into a specific department. You're going to earn it. And so for that reason, it was just fair enough for him not to make me to repeat again. So, and there were other departments that were going to admit me. So since the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication rejected me, but the Department of Linguistics accepted me. So at that point, the threshold for the Department of Linguistics was like 5 points. So they admitted me. I had to study linguistics. I did not even know what linguistics was when I started. So my plan was that after I was going to take minor courses in journalism, and the next year I would apply to switch my departments, which was possible. But after my first year studying linguistics, I fell in love with it. I liked it. I started dreaming of becoming a speech language pathologist. So I said, okay, that's fine. As I went into it, I did my bachelor's, I did my master's. And when I completed my master's, I fell in love with research and lecturing. And so my dream changed. How many dreams have you had since you started growing up? So my dream changed. Now I wanted to become a researcher and a lecturer. While in my PhD, I had some challenges, so I suspended my PhD. At that time, I moved to the US, and I'm thinking like, hey, should I go back to college to complete this PhD? Should I go back, and what can I do? But the tuition was crazy. I cannot afford tuition in the US. And at that time, my status would not even let me to take a school fee loan. So that was it. I ended up doing my survival jobs. It was in the course of doing the survival jobs that I decided to learn a skill that changed my life. I was flexible enough to know that, yes, I know before all the way until I turned 28 that I was in school, I wanted to be a researcher, I wanted to be a lecturer. But in order for me to pay my bills, in order for me to take care of my daughter and myself, I needed to learn a skill that would pay those bills. And that is how I moved and I started gearing towards skill-based education. And that is why I think that I am in a good place to talk to you about the importance of gearing more towards skill-based education. So don't get me wrong. For the youngsters, go to college and get a degree. But make sure that that degree you're going to earn has an intention. Or be prepared to shift into skill-based education once you get out. But for you who already has a degree also, or is already at a level in life that you don't necessarily need a degree to read and understand and disseminate information, please go learn a skill. Find a skill that you like. Find something that you love doing. And look for that skill that aligns with that thing and learn it. So in this whole guidelines thing, in this whole series on skills, I decided to answer this question first. Because I have that question coming to me a lot, like, hey, what do you think I can do? And this applies to everybody. It doesn't matter where in the world you are. We have the opportunity to learn online. Everything is online. So I just want you who is already on this journey to keep following me. Stay tuned. The coming episodes or the coming points are going to continue to guide you through this process. And for you who has not made that decision to do this yet, please stay tuned. I hope that talking about this is going to help guide your thoughts as you make this decision to learn a new skill. Stay tuned, and I'll see you on point number 2 on the skills guidelines on the You Can Be Anything podcast. Thanks and have a blessed day. Be good to each other.